Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ArdhiSasa tutorial on the transfer of charge application. This application process involves conveying an existing charge from one chargee to another. This process is initiated by an advocate, one who is registered on the ArdhiSasa platform and has upgraded their account. To begin with, you log into the platform. As an advocate, you'll be required to enter your credentials, that is your identification number or the ArdhiSasa ID, and the password you used when creating your account. Key in your ArdhiSasa ID, enter your password, and then click Continue. Upon doing so, you'll be provided with a one-time password code, an OTP, which will be sent to the phone number you used to register with on the platform. Once you have received the OTP, type the code onto the OTP prompt box and then click Log In. You'll be navigated to the dashboard. You'll find a number of services listed under the several departments we have in the Ministry of Lands and Physical Planning. As an advocate, when you first log in, the account you're logged in as is your private account. For you to initiate this process, you will need to switch to your advocate account. So you do so by clicking on the profile icon. It will display a drop-down menu with the professional account which has been approved for you as an advocate. Switch to your advocate account and you'll be able to proceed with the process. For more information on how to upgrade to a professional account, check out our YouTube video on the same through the link featured in the video description. The process we are undertaking is under land registration, so navigate to the land registration section and click View More, and you'll find the application listed under the services offered in this department. Upon clicking on it, you'll be navigated to the applications page, and here there are a number of tabs provided. There's Pending, Ongoing, Completed, Rejected, and Cancelled. All the applications that you have initiated will be listed among the tabs provided, depending on the level of processing of your application. The Pending tab is for the application that you have initiated as an advocate but have not completed. It or they still need some action from your side or from the parties involved in the applications. The Ongoing tab features applications which you have submitted as an advocate, but it's up to the ministry side through the relevant officials to process the application. The Completed tab is for applications which have been approved by the relevant ministry officials. The Rejected tab is for applications that have been rejected by the ministry officials for one reason or another. The reasons will be communicated to you on the application. And the Cancel tab is for applications which have been cancelled by the different parties involved in the application process. For you to initiate this application, you will click on the New Application button on the top right-hand corner. You'll then be navigated to the page with FAQs, which is the frequently asked questions related to this process. You can go ahead and explore the FAQs to get some of the terminologies used. Upon doing so, you can proceed and click Next. You'll be navigated to the Charge Details section. Here, you'll first provide the parcel number of the property in question. So kindly key it in the format registry/block and then the block number with no space in between /the parcel number. You'll also enter the charge entry number or numbers as it appears in the register. Click Enter and then click on the Add button. And the parcel number as well as the charge entry number you entered will be populated underneath. You'll then move on to the chargeor details section where you'll key in the ArdhiSasa ID of the chargeor in question and then click on Search. A pop-up box will appear requiring you to select the person to execute as the chargeor. It could either be the chargeor executing for himself or herself or an attorney executing on behalf of the chargeor. When you choose the attorney option, you'll be required to enter the power of attorney entry number in the format registry/the entry number /the month of registration /the year of registration and then click on Search. And the attorney as well as his or her ArdhiSasa ID will be populated underneath. All the registered POAs have been digitized to adopt a uniform naming system. To confirm the system reference to a POA you are using, have a conversation with the customer care agents through the chatbot on the platform and they will send you the number. However, in this case, you'll be going the self option instead, meaning that the chargeor is executing for himself or herself and then click on the Save button. Upon doing so, the details of the chargeor as well as the person executing on behalf of the chargeor will be listed. You'll then move on to the borrower details. The process is similar with that of the chargeor details, and yet again, we'll be going with the self option and then click on Save. And the details of the borrower as well as the person executing on behalf of the borrower will be listed. Next up is the transferor details. Here, you'll enter the ArdhiSasa ID of the chargee or the financial institution that intends to transfer the charge, and then click on Search. A pop-up box will appear, requiring you to select the person to execute as the transferor. The options include a director, an attorney, or an appointed signatory. If you choose to go with the first option, you'll enter the ArdhiSasa ID of the director and then click on Search, and the details of the director will be populated underneath. It is important to note that the director or director's details are verified from the Business Registration Service, BRS, in real time. If you choose to go with the attorney option, you'll follow the procedure we've just highlighted, and if you choose the appointed signatories option, which is the case in this, you'll be required to select from a list of valid signatories of the organization. So we'll go ahead and do so and click on Save, and the details of the transferor as well as the person executing for the transferor will be listed. You'll then move on to the transferee details, enter the ArdhiSasa ID of the financial institution to which the charge is being transferred, click on Search. A pop-up box will appear, requiring you to select the person to execute for the transferee. Kindly follow the steps that we have portrayed in the previous sections, click on Save, and the details of the transferee as well as the person to execute for the transferee will be listed. If you are satisfied with the details you have provided in this page, kindly click on Next. You will then be navigated to the Additional Details page. Here, you'll first enter the principal amount of the charge in question, then click on Add, and the amount will be listed on the right of your screen. You'll move on to the Outstanding Amount details, where you'll key in the balance amount that is still yet to be paid back, and then click on Add. You'll also enter the consideration amount, which is the amount that was secured for the charge in question. It's worth noting that we offer a variety of currency options. However, the particular currency chosen will affect the assessment of stamp duty fee for the application. You'll then enter the whereas details, which are the principal conditions to the charge as stated in the charge agreement, and after doing so, you will click on the Add button, and the details will appear alongside the text box. You'll then move on to the law firm details, where you'll provide the details of the law firm that you are acting under. Here, you have the option of tying the application to a registered law firm on ArdhiSasa, where you'll be required to type in the ArdhiSasa ID of the law firm and then click on Search, and the law firm details will automatically be populated. However, in our case, you'll be manually keying in the law firm details. It is key to note that as far as the website and the street address of the law firm are concerned, they are not mandatory fields to fill. However, you can provide the information required if applicable. You can then go ahead and click on Next. The next section is the document section. This is where you'll provide the additional provisions, which is a document containing conditions that are specific to the charge in question. Kindly take note of the accepted file formats, that is PDF, PNG, and JPEG formats. So go ahead and click on Choose File, and you'll be navigated to your local machine or device, whereby you'll upload the document you have prepared, and the document will be listed again as the Choose File button. If you have additional documents which you feel will support the processing of your application, you have an option of providing said documents. These are documents such as a CR12 in the case of a company as the charger or chargee, spousal consent, etc. You can proceed and click on Next. The last step is the confirmation step with all the details that you have provided. So scroll through the entire page and go through them. If satisfied, you can click on Submit. You also have the option of going back if you need to edit any information. For this case, we'll proceed and click on Submit. Upon doing so, you'll be prompted to approve on whether you indeed want to submit the request, and then proceed and click Yes. You'll then get a confirmation message on a pop-up box which affirms that the application has been created successfully, and then click on Close. On the application details page, you'll see the application reference number, the progress level of your application, as well as a cancel application button in case you wish to cancel the application, perhaps because you entered erroneous information before the first submission. You also have the Submit Request button. However, this button is not active until all the parties involved have verified and signed on the application, which, as you can see on the application verification section underneath, has not happened yet. We have the execution section as well, where you'll need to accept whether or not to represent the parties listed. So if you choose to accept to represent one or all of the parties, you will click on accept. And if you choose not to represent one or all of the parties, you can click on reject, and the parties will get a notification that you have chosen not to represent them, and they will have an option of selecting or adding another advocate to represent them. In our case, we'll choose to represent all of the parties listed. Additionally, you'll need to append your signature. However, in this scenario, we'll hold out on signing until all the involved parties have verified and signed on the application. After the first submission, all the involved parties will get a notification not only on their accounts but also on email and SMS, requiring them to verify on the application as well as append their signature. As such, it is key to note that the advocate must be in communication with the parties involved throughout the verification process for ease of operations. Once any of the involved parties has logged in, he or she will navigate to the notification bell on the top right corner of the screen and check for the notification prompting him or her to verify the application. An OTP prompt box will be displayed with a Get OTP button alongside it. If the individual does not approve of this process, a Cancel Application button will be displayed on the top right corner of the screen, and they can click on it and the process will be cancelled. However, if the individual is aware of the process and approves of it, he or she will then click on the Get OTP button, and an OTP code will be sent to the phone number that he or she used during registration. A key thing to note is that below the OTP prompt box, there's an important disclaimer for the party involved. It instructs the person to only enter the OTP code if he or she authorizes the application made on their behalf by the advocate involved in the process. After receiving the OTP code, the individual will key in the exact code received onto the OTP prompt box and then click on the Verify button. Upon doing so, a pop-up box will appear, affirming the OTP has been successfully verified, so he or she will go ahead and click on Close. This is the execution section. Here, the party verifying this application can change the advocate representing them if the initial advocate chose not to represent. Upon clicking on the Change Advocate button, the individual will then enter the ArdhiSasa ID of the new advocate to represent them, and then click on the Change Advocate button below. That advocate will then get a notification prompting them to accept representation. The individual will then navigate to the Add Signature section, where they will be required to append their signature. There are a number of options on how to do so. To begin with, there is the signing area here, as you can see, which allows them to sign with their computer mouse if they're using a desktop or a laptop, and alternatively with the stylus pen or their index finger if they're using a phone or tablet to access the platform. There's the other option of signing with another device. Upon clicking on this option, a pop-up box will appear displaying the 4 alternative options for signing. For more information on the available signing options on ArdhiSasa, kindly view our YouTube tutorial explaining the same through the link featured in the video description. In this case, the party will sign on the signing area. They will place the mouse cursor on the signing area, press and hold on the left click button, and then go ahead and append the signature. If satisfied, they can click on Save. However, if not pleased with it, there is the option of removing it by clicking on Clear and then appending the signature once again to their liking. There's a pop-up notification that will appear requiring them to affirm their submission of the signature. They'll then click on Yes. As mentioned earlier, the advocate and the involved parties are in active communication during the verification process. As such, once all the parties are verified and signed, the advocate will be notified and he or she will then navigate to the application status page and refresh it. On your screen under the application verification section, you'll see the status on verification by the involved parties under the OTP status, and you'll also see the signature status as well. And in our case, they have all verified and signed. As you can recall, you, the advocate, held out on signing earlier on until the involved parties had verified and signed on the application. With that done, you can go ahead and append your signature. You can either sign on the signing area using your mouse and click on Save. The second option is signing with another device using the 4 aforementioned options. So proceed and append your signature and then click Save. There's a pop-up notification that will appear requiring you to affirm that you want to submit this as your signature. Click on Yes. In doing so, you'll have completed the application up to the point of accepting execution and the parties involved consenting to the application. In order to see out your role as an advocate in this process and submit the application request, you or either one of the involved parties will duly be required to pay the stamp duty fee. An invoice for the same will be auto-generated. On the invoice, kindly click on View and two options will be displayed. You have the invoice and the receipt. The receipt option is not active until the stamp duty is paid. So if you click on the invoice, you'll be provided with an invoice that has been generated. As you can see, this particular invoice is unpaid. You will also be provided with the invoice number, one that you should take note of as you make the payment. This is because you'll be required to provide the invoice number in question when you reach out to the customer care agent in case an issue or issues arises concerning your payment. Kindly navigate back to the invoice tab, and when you click on Pay, you'll be provided with the available methods for payment as well as the procedures to be used. Once the payment is made, a Confirm button will appear on the bottom left-hand corner. Kindly click on Confirm. Upon doing so, the Submit Request button on the top right-hand corner is activated, and once you click on it, you'll be prompted to approve on whether you indeed want to submit the request, and then proceed and click Yes. The application will transition to the Land Registration Department for processing and approval. Once it has been approved, all parties will get a notification on SMS as well as on email communicating the same, and upon accessing the application on your account, you'll notice that the progress bar is at 100%, meaning that the process is complete. To confirm the registration of the transfer of charge, the property owner can log into the ArdhiSasa account, navigate to the My Properties tab on the left panel of the screen, click on the View button alongside the parcel in question, click on the Encumbrance tab, and they'll see the transfer of charge listed in the Encumbrance section of the register. That's it for this tutorial on the transfer of charge application on ArdhiSasa. Feel free to give feedback on this tutorial in the comment section below. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell button alongside the subscribe button to get notifications on new videos as and when we post them. Also, kindly follow us on our social media platforms, that is at ArdhiSasa_KE on Instagram as well as on Twitter, and at ArdhiSasa on Facebook. Thanks for watching and goodbye.